All right, as promised, guys, I'm just going to deal some of my healing cards to get over this toxic chameleon effect energy, and then we'll carry on with the rest of our read. So if you haven't seen part 1 yet on toxic, go back and have a look at toxic, the first part, because it'll make sense what I'm trying to say here. Okay, so we want some healing cards, please, Spirit, because these are really heavy energy. So we've got new cycle. Okay, that's cool. That's exactly what we want. Oopsie. Right, at least there's lots of healing cards that are coming out as part of this read as well. All right, we've got boundaries. We've got life lessons. I actually did just talk about this in part 1, life lessons and reflection. Okay, so I want to keep the message quite concise, pointed and succinct, following the toxic and chameleon effect. Now, please go back to part 1 so that this makes sense, instead of us jumping straight into the healing when you don't even know what it is that you're supposed to be healing from. Because also, this may not be your read either. All right, so let's talk about new cycle and evolution and start. So if you're stuck in this toxic relationship, I'm getting here that a lot of you are thinking about, well, how do I get myself out of this? I want a new start. I need to get away and just focus on my self-healing and my self-love. And so a lot of you are in this energy here too, which is really good news. I'm pleased to hear that. Wanting a new start, wanting to evolve and get onto that right path, and just to open, just to welcome in this new cycle with open arms, okay? And sort of say to the universe, I'm ready to do this. Knowing that it's probably going to come with a lot of pain, a lot of heartbreak, but you know to serve the best and the highest part of yourself that you've got to do what you've got to do, okay? So I'm not telling you what to do. I'd never like to say, I think you should do this. I'm just purely interpreting what the cards are telling me. Okay, so I'm channeling. All right, so a lot of this new cycle and everything, part of it, if it hasn't started already, there's a lot of reflection work going on. Okay, so you're looking in the mirror, or may not even be looking in the mirror, looking in your heart, going in internal, doing some introspection work. What is it that I've got to do? What is it that I need to think about? Who do I need to lean in? Who are all my people that are going to call in at this time? What is my environment or me staying with this person say about me? There's a lot of those questions going around in your head at the moment. Rightfully so. We do have to question ourselves when we're going through this period of change and about to start a new cycle or considering it. Boundaries are called for here, okay? When you're with someone who's toxic and who's draining and sucking the fucking life out of you, boundaries need to go up, okay? Really healthy boundaries. And we're doing these healthy boundaries not because we're trying to be mean or shut anyone out or go into no contact. Yes, it could mean all of those things, but we're doing boundaries because we want to protect our love for ourselves, okay? Putting your boundaries up doesn't shut you off to love completely. It actually opens conversation and the gates for a more respected, honourable love to come into you, not in its form of toxic or in its form of where someone's trying to drain the living shit out of you. Okay, so we put up boundaries to protect ourselves and to sort of frame it up so that if we have got this toxic person there, that if they're going to come back into us and talk to us and have conversations, they do so from a place of respecting the boundaries that you put up, not from a toxic energy point of view. Okay, so really important call out there. You're the one that sets up the healthy boundaries. You put your guidelines and your rules and everything in place because you're at a point now where you've hit your threshold. Enough is enough. Okay, so such an important call out there. And again, to protect your peace, your self-love, if there's anything left after this toxic person's like completely drained you, but there will be, okay, because this is all about filling your cup. You're putting your boundaries up so you can fill that cup again and get back to the place that you need to be at and exists. Okay, it's good stuff that's happening. Part one, I also talked about toxic people teach you a lot about people in general, but mostly about yourself. You know, you get some really good life lessons. So I'm so pleased that this card has fallen out as part of the healing journey, because with life lessons, you know, everything that happens to us in life, starting from a child into our adult years, and the timing of it all, it's part of life's sacred curriculum. That the book that's given to you when you come down on this earth, okay? It's all part of the journey, okay? Some of us have a really nice, easy life where we never have to worry about these things. Some of us, not so much. We're constantly having challenges placed in front of us, okay? But that's part of the life lessons and the curriculum and that book that we were given before we came down to earth, okay? So with this as well, whenever we're going through something quite extreme with our life lessons, it awakens something inside of us, deep inside of us. Okay, so we get a lot of profound learnings, go through a profound shift, usually which leads to a massive transformation in our lives. So it's not all doom and gloom, right? When those transformations happen, it usually kickstarts us into a healing journey, and when that happens, just something sort of naturally happens where we also take others along for the healing journey with us, and we teach a lot and educate others around us around what that healing journey can look like for them also. So when we heal ourselves, we also heal others, okay? And especially when you're doing it publicly, like what I do, it has just such a big ripple effect. So those that I touch through my audience on TikTok and on YouTube, if you're not on YouTube with me, come across. Love dealing with Des, same as my TikTok name. The ripple effect that goes out is massive. And then that generation that I touch, hopefully that generation teaches the next generation something. So see the effect that you can have. That's the life lessons card. So beautiful. All right, now let's get to the rest of these cards. All right, sorry, I just had to sneeze, and I didn't want you guys around the world hearing my big sneeze. Okay, so let's carry on with the Shadow and Light Oracle reading now. So what was dealt in the first read was, and the first part was also EQ around emotional intelligence, 3 baskets, and the Inspire. So now that we've done the healing cards, we're also going to get to the good juicy parts of this oracle reading, and it may extend out into a part 3. All right, so EQ. So EQ is around, you know, you are emotionally aware, very self-aware as a person. What I'm going to say about this personality type is, so you either fall into one or the other. It's very rare we have both, and if you do have both and you've nailed it, then hats off to you. That's awesome. So usually IQ is something to do with, you know, academically you're smart. It could be a genetic thing where great genes have been passed down to you, or you've had someone that's role modeled cleverness, academic, just being really smart and savvy. Okay, so you could be really high in IQ. Now, EQ is about, and they're saying that this is just as powerful and almost more important than the IQ. You can have the smartest person in the room, but if they don't know how to sort of work the room and build relationships and communicate openly, because a lot of IQ people, high in IQ people, are quite introverted. EQ tend to be a good balance of introvert and extrovert, but a lot of the time they're quite high up there with the extrovert side of things. Okay, so they're great at building relationships. They know how to work a room. They're usually the life of the party. They feel confident in their own skin. They're so self-aware that, and get a good read the room, that you know, the conversation that you can get into someone with high EQ is normally a two-way conversation. They are there to listen. They're not just waiting to listen on you to respond and get their side in. Sometimes that may be the case if it's required, but they're very good at listening and therefore able to get a good read on the conversation and respond well to the conversation. Okay, so the transaction of information is awesome and it flows with someone that's high in EQ. So I'm getting here that this is you guys. Okay, so you're high in EQ, hence why you know that you need to walk away from these Okay, you got a good read of the situation because you're very self-aware. You're doing all the healing and self-work that's required, and you're moving away from this situation. Join me in a part 3 as we finish up.